Greetings, community. It's Kevin of NCBD Comics, and welcome to another edition of Kevin's Most Anticipated Read, or K-M.A.R.T, for New Comic Book Day, 9/7/2022. Now, I personally do have a kind of an extensive list on here, so I do ask of you that you go ahead, sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Starting off with Marvel. Now, this is a book that I think has been pushed back a couple of times, and a couple of titles that I will be mentioning on this list have been moved around as far as my availability has been concerned. A few of these have been pushed. A few of these things, I guess, I just personally have not been able to receive at my shop. However, that being stated, again, Marvel releasing the Spider-Man 2099 Exodus Omega #1, kind of a mouthful. Here we get to see a goblin of a new shape, new form, of a something familiar, and I'm kind of curious. I think it's Galactic Goblin. Basically what we're doing, I think, and the whole Spider-Man thing is trying to paint every color of the rainbow with a goblin, every goblin with color of a rainbow, however you want to look at it, by the end of this year. And I don't know, one of them will not only stick, which I'm curious to see if this one does. All of them tend to be written by decent writers. So, all right, so they are pushing the envelope with these characters, but they're kind of cool stories. So that's why it's on one of my most anticipated reads. Moving on from there, Marvel. You only had one on my list. Sorry, guys. Cruise over to Golden Age. Golden Age? Golden Rage. There we go. Well, raging on the Asian. Issue #2. Now, it's a free-for-all granny extreme theme story. Not for everyone, but definitely for me. It's why it's on one of my most anticipated reads. Wild. Definitely wild. They're definitely trying to tie in a little bit of emotion in there, but I like the free-for-all. So let's get it on, girls. Moving on from there, from Golden Rage, we cruise over to Sweet Paprika. Now, this is issue #12, and this finalizes this storyline. Now, this has been a 12-issue maxi series by Miracle and Doffel, and I particularly been enjoying it. I'm looking forward to this finale. It's been considerably more than I actually expected. I thought it would be a little more surface, turned to be a lot more depth, and I think for some it kind of wore thin. I personally enjoyed it, so it is on one of my most anticipated reads for tomorrow. Moving over from Sweet Paprika, we cruise over to a town called Terror, issue #6. What I'm really enjoying about this is they give us classic monsters told and depicted in a classic mob style. It's a very, very clever story, and the way it's delivered, and especially the art, it draws me in every month. It's one of my most anticipated reads every month. It's of every time I'm looking for something to cut, it's definitely one of the ones that I don't even consider. So that's why A Town Called Terror, issue #6, is on my list. Moving over from there, we go to Twig, issue #5. Now, Scotty Young, when he writes, I pretty much dig almost everything that he's been writing, especially the past 4 years. I'm really digging Twig. Twig is probably one of my all-time favorites. The reason why is this is Scotty Young having the ability to exercise, I think, a strength that he's never, in my opinion, really flexed as much as I believe he is in Twig. There's a lot of heartstrings being pulled. Issue #4 fucked me up, man. I dug it. It just really hurt, and it was really beautifully told, and that's why it's on one of my most anticipated reads for tomorrow. Issue #5 is the finale for Twig. Cruising over there from Image, we go over to Oni Press. Now, Oni has a title called Blink that I've been looking forward to, for months. And then when issue 1, I guess, was pushed back like 2 weeks, finally came out. I have to admit, it took me a while to get to it. Now, oh yeah, I don't. You know what I'll do is I'll wait until issue 3 and then I'll see if I can do a review. And I don't normally do reviews. This is a very unique story, so that's why issue number 2 is one of my most anticipated reads for tomorrow. That's Blink issue number 2. Cruising over to Opus. Opus is known for writing or allowing writers to take music groups and write anthologies loosely based off some of their songs or the theme of the band or whatever kind of works out. And in the case of this title, Cradle of Filth, they've been anthologies told by huge fans that are tend to be writers and artists and creators themselves. Cradle of Filth is a very unique band, not just because they write a lot of music, but I mean the wife of Danny, which is the lead vocalist, she's a tattoo artist, an artist. He's the lead vocalist, an artist. Together, I mean, to me, this is like another extension of a lot of things that I know they have their hands in. So I think they've been allowing the writers of these tales to just really tell some really perfectly, I would say, themed Cradle of Filth stories. So that's why Cradle of Filth issue number 2 is one of my most anticipated reads. Getting out from Opus, we cruise back over to another region of the Dark Horse. Dark Horse, you guys have been killing it of late. I've been digging what you're writing, and especially when it comes to Survival Street. Survival Street issue number 2 is, I mean, issue number 1 was awesome, but issue number 2 carries on with this Muppet style conveyance of a political, social, and economic statements in a really comic, satirical, warped way. And it's really awesome, especially when it comes to this mixture of this Sesame Street theme that they've been able to put into it. This is definitely one of my most anticipated reads, and it was something I was looking forward to for months, even prior to when issue number 1 came out. So that's why issue number 2 is right up there. Now, speaking of a title that I've been waiting for a long time, now this comes out from a writer that's not normally thought of as a writer. Kit Wallace is writing a story called Mr. Easta. Mr. Easta issue number 1 comes out tomorrow out of Scout Comics, and this is Kit, man. He gets to go ahead and flex his writing muscle along with also doing the art. I really like Kit's work, and the fact that he's able to write, I'm really curious if he's just as whimsical, colorful, creative in his writing as I fall in love with his art. So that's why Mr. Easta, issue number 1, is one of my most anticipated reads. To give you a quick little summarization. The main character is basically the 3rd best assassin in the universe. That does it for me. Oh, the other thing is he uses a parasite to go ahead and teleport around. So wild. All right, moving from there. I hope you appreciate that little page. I just killed the camera. Hey, well, you know, there's always something to happen when you do things live. You're bound to have things like this happen. All right, moving out from there, we go cruise over to Vanity issue number 2. Issue number 1 was based on Morgan Le Fay. Not going to get too much into Morgan Le Fay as much as the story, which was really neat, didn't depict an individual who is always historically been depicted as a very horrific individual. So, yeah, I appreciate you laughing at that. That's what you got to love live, man. So I'm really looking forward to issue number 2. I'm hoping this is a loose anthology based on Morgan Le Fay. Morgan Le Fay? Countess Bathory. There we go. Countess Bathory. Same Morgan Le Fay. The reason why is most of the story around these individuals are just mythical. So it can go in so many different directions. And it was told in a very creepy, philosophical manner on issue number 1. So I'm hoping that carries on to issue number 2. That is Vanity number 2. All right. Artist Elite, their issue number 3 at this point as far as the release. And it's more Artist Elite stuff. See, what they've been doing is they've just been teasing with all these little mini stories that are only giving us around 3, maybe 4 pages long. And they're trying to cover all the artists and creators that are contributing to the publishing company, which is, in my opinion, slightly messy. It would have been nice if they just did full releases of certain titles as opposed to go ahead and tease us all these things and then promising titles on the road. I'm hoping it works out. But that doesn't mean it's not on one of my most anticipated reads. They've been giving us 3 titles every time they're releasing a title. 3 titles within a title? Something like that. And we've been getting 3 titles. So that's like a lot. So that's why it's on one of my most anticipated reads for tomorrow. Moving over there from Artist to Leave a Cruise over to Dynamite. Dynamite, you guys have been killing me. I've been trying to take stuff off, and I never even looked over in the Dynamite place before, and now it blew up in my face. See what I did there? So what I mean by that is I've been seeing titles on titles and titles coming out from them that I've been enjoying. This one in particular. I got a little taste of this one, and that's all it needed for me to go ahead and jump on board of Ninjets comes out tomorrow. Ninjets is a story of, well, it's a title that basically traces its lineage all the way back to Jennifer Blood. Don't know who that really is. However, Ninjets is a story of college-age women that are forced to become expendable assassins. I'm in. So that's why it's on one of my most anticipated reads. Like I said, I already got a little tidbit, a little bit of reading. I like the art, like the action, and it's if these chicks don't kill one another before they actually kill their it's awesome. I like how it's written. It's very witty. Moving over from Dynamite, Ninjets, issue number 1, cruising over to Ablaze. Yeah. Boogeyman, issue number 1. This is really well written, and it's really interesting. What I find most interesting is it's a story about a kid that's haunted by a boogeyman and gets like a boogeyman as a bodyguard. Kind of cool. That's what I'm saying. However, the title I'm sure everyone's been wondering, which, so, let's do it right. The Blue Light Special for tomorrow, 9/7/22, is Shock Shop. Shock Shop, issue number 1 of 4, I believe, is a 4-issue miniseries anthology. Cool thing is ties in with us. What I mean by that is it's an anthology told by this cool, creepy comic shop owner. Like, we've never seen any of those people before. And it's kind of cool. The best way I could describe it is take Jim Henson's Storyteller, all right, and then kind of mash it up with Tales from the Crypt. Like, seriously, put it in a blender, and there you go. That's why Shock Shop is my Blue Light Special. And that's it for me, Entropy. Appreciate you. Stay well. Take care.